Dorcas had always lived in the busy city where life moved fast. Cars honked all day, tall buildings covered the sky, and people were always in a rush. She was a smart and curious young lady, but she had never been to her parents' hometown. Her parents had always told her about the quiet village where they grew up, but they never took her there. One sunny afternoon, Dorcas's cousin Maureen came visiting. Maureen was full of energy and excitement, and her stories about the village made Dorcas curious. "Dorcas," Maureen said one day as they sat chatting in the living room, "you are missing out, oh. The village is so peaceful and beautiful. People are kind, the air is fresh, and life is simple over there." Dorcas raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure? What is there to see in a small village? I bet it's just farms and trees." Maureen laughed. "You will never know until you visit. Let's go together. It will be fun." Dorcas thought about it for a moment. Her parents had always spoken fondly of the village, and maybe it was time to see it for herself. When she told her parents about Maureen's suggestion, they were thrilled. "It's a good idea," her father nodded. "It is time you know where you came from. The village is your home too." Dorcas's mother supported him. "It will help you understand your roots and traditions. Go see for yourself." So, with her parents' approval, Dorcas and Maureen packed their bags and set off for the village. When they arrived, Dorcas was surprised. The village was nothing like the noisy city she was used to. The air was fresh and smelled of flowers. There were few cars, mostly bicycles, and people walking around. Chickens and goats roamed freely. Children played in the open fields, laughing and chasing each other. "Wow," Dorcas said, looking around. "It's so quiet here." Maureen grinned. "I told you, isn't it nice?" An elderly woman carrying a basket of fruits greeted them with a warm smile. "Welcome, my children. Are you visiting?" "Yes, ma," Maureen replied politely. "This is my cousin, Dorcas. It's her first time here." The woman nodded. "You will love it here. Take your time to enjoy our little village." Dorcas smiled back. Everyone seemed so kind and welcoming. She immediately felt at peace. They spent the rest of the day resting and unpacking. Dorcas couldn't stop admiring the starry sky that night. Unlike the city, where lights from buildings covered the stars, the village sky was clear and full of twinkling stars. "This place feels so magical," she exclaimed to herself as she fell asleep. The next morning, Maureen suggested they explore the village. A young boy named Nosa volunteered to show them around. Nosa was about 10 years old, full of energy, and knew every corner of the village. "I will take you to see everything," Nosa said proudly. "The river, the old baobab tree, and even the markets." The three of them set out, chatting and laughing as they walked. They saw farmers working in the fields, women pounding yam, and children fetching water from a stream. Dorcas was fascinated. "This is so different from the city," she said to Maureen. "Everything feels so real." As they walked back home, they came across a large dried tree root sticking out of the ground. It was old, twisted, and looked like it had been there forever. It blocked part of the narrow path, making it hard to walk through. "Why don't they just cut this thing off?" Maureen asked, pointing at the roots. "Someone could trip and hurt themselves." Nosa's cheerful face suddenly turned serious. He stepped back and shook his head. "No, that is not an ordinary root." Dorcas frowned. "What do you mean? This is just a piece of dried wood." "No, Auntie," Nosa said and lowered his voice. "That is the great oracle. It is as old as the village itself. Some say it is the spirit of our forefathers. Others say it is an old woman who turned into the stump, but everyone knows it protects us and it is very powerful. Dorcas burst out into laughter. You can't be serious. This dried piece of wood, an oracle. That's ridiculous. Maureen, however, looked uneasy. Dorcas, maybe we should just leave it alone. Leave it alone? It is just a tree root, Dorcas insisted. She walked up to the stump and raised her foot to kick it, but Nosa grabbed her arm and pulled her back. Please, auntie, don't do that, he begged. You must not touch it or disrespect it. Bad things will happen. Please, let's go. Dorcas rolled her eyes. This is nonsense. Maureen and Nosa walked away, but Dorcas stood there still wondering at how foolish people could be to believe such superstitions. Suddenly, she felt the urge to pee. She looked around for a bush to hide in, but hesitated. What if there are insects or snakes there? She muttered. Her eyes suddenly landed on the stump, and an idea struck her. It's just a piece of wood, she thought. Why not? Without thinking, she looked back and forth to be sure no one was looking. When she was sure she was alone, she quickly squatted and relieved herself on the stump. She laughed as she ran to catch up with Maureen and Nosa. That night, Dorcas went to bed feeling proud of herself for proving how silly the villagers' beliefs were. But her laughter didn't last long. The next morning, Dorcas woke up to a wet bed. She sat up in shock. What? Did I wet the bed? She whispered. She had not wet the bed since she was a child. She quickly washed up and cleaned the sheets before anyone could notice. Luckily, there was a waterproof sheet under the bed sheets, so the mattress was safe. But as she carried the sheets outside to dry, Maureen saw her. Dorcas, why are you washing so early? Maureen asked. Nothing, Dorcas said quickly. I just felt like washing. Maureen nodded, but then stopped and pointed at Dorcas's legs. Wait, Dorcas, what's that on your legs? Are you urinating? Dorcas looked down and froze. A stream of urine was running down her legs. She had not even noticed it. Feeling embarrassed, she ran inside and locked herself in the bathroom. What is happening to me? She asked in confusion. After she had cleaned up and put on fresh clothes, Dorcas waited for a while in the bathroom. She wanted to be sure the strange problem had stopped before coming out. When she was sure, she stepped out and went to meet Maureen in the living room. Maureen was sitting on the sofa, waiting for Dorcas. What happened, Dorcas? Are you okay? She asked out of concern. Dorcas smiled weakly. I'm fine. Maybe I drank too much water last night. That's all, she said, trying to sound calm. Maureen nodded. If you say so. Before Maureen could finish her sentence, she looked down and froze. Dorcas, look at your legs again. You are urinating. Dorcas froze. She looked down and saw the same thing happening again. Tears filled up in her eyes as she turned and ran towards the bathroom. This time, Maureen followed her and knocked on the bathroom door. Dorcas, what's going on? Are you okay? Talk to me. From inside the bathroom, Dorcas cried. I don't know what is happening, Maureen. I can't stop it. I don't even feel anything, but it just keeps coming out. What do I do? Maureen was worried. I think we need to go to the hospital first, she said. But let me get something to help. You can't go out like this. She ran to a nearby shop and bought adult diapers. When she came back, she handed them to Dorcas. Wear this for now, so we can go out without any accidents. Dorcas felt embarrassed, but agreed. After putting on the diaper, they went to the hospital. At the clinic, The doctor listened carefully as Dorcas explained her problem. "I just woke up this morning and I could no longer control it," she said. "It keeps happening and I don't know why." The doctor ran several tests on Dorcas. She waited nervously, hoping they would find something easy to fix. After a long wait, the doctor came back with the results. "There is nothing wrong with you physically," he said. "All your tests are normal. I will give you some medicine to help, but I don't see any medical problem." Dorcas and Maureen left the hospital feeling frustrated. The medicine did not even work, and the problem only got worse. Dorcas was now using almost 10 diapers every day. The constant urination made her feel weak, and she started to lose weight. However, Maureen didn't give up. "Let's try some local herbs," she suggested. They went to meet an elderly woman in the village who was a renowned traditional healer. The woman prepared a special herbal mixture for Dorcas and gave her instructions. "Drink this 3 times a day," she said. "It will help cleanse your body and stop the urine." Dorcas followed the instructions, but nothing changed. She still couldn't stop the constant flow of urine from her body. After a week of trying everything, Maureen decided to call Dorcas's parents. "We have done all we can, sir," she told them over the phone. "You need to come and see her. She's not getting better." Dorcas's parents were shocked when they heard what was happening. They packed their bags and rushed to the village immediately. When they arrived, they found Dorcas looking pale and weak. She had lost a lot of fluids and looked tired. Dorcas's mother broke down in tears. "What is happening to my child?" she cried, holding Dorcas tightly. Her father's heart broke as he saw his daughter looking helpless. "We need to find a solution. We can't let this continue." Dorcas's father decided to seek advice from an old friend in the village. The man listened to the story and then said, "Take her to the shrine. Oh, this problem did not start in the city. It started here in this village. The oracle should know what is wrong." But Dorcas's father hesitated. "I don't believe in such things. What could the oracle possibly do?" "Do you want your daughter to suffer forever?" the man asked. "The oracle is powerful, and as it stands now, that might be the only solution." When Dorcas's father returned home and told his wife, she agreed immediately. "I don't care what we have to do. As long as my child is healed, I will do anything." Reluctantly, Dorcas's father took them to the shrine. "Please, wise one, our daughter is suffering. She cannot stop urinating. We have tried everything, but nothing works. We need your help, please." The chief priest looked at Dorcas, who stood trembling behind her parents. "Young lady, step forward," he said. Dorcas hesitated, then stepped forward with her head bowed. The chief priest stared at her for a long moment, then closed his eyes and began to chant. After a while, the priest opened his eyes and sighed deeply. "Your daughter has offended the great oracle," he said. Dorcas's parents gasped in shock. "How? When? We have always respected the oracle. How could she offend it?" The chief priest shook his head. "You did not teach her well. You kept her away from her roots, and now she does not know our ways at all." Dorcas was confused. "What do you mean, sir?" The priest's eyes narrowed. "What did you do at the tree stump near the path? Speak the truth." Dorcas froze. Her stomach twisted as she remembered the dried tree roots she had urinated on. Her voice came out in a whisper. I didn't know it was the oracle. I thought it was just a piece of wood." Her parents stared at her in disbelief. "You did what?" her father shouted. "How could you be so careless?" Her mother burst into tears. Of all places to relieve yourself, why dear? Do you know what you've done? Dorcas fell to her knees, crying, I am sorry, I didn't know. I didn't mean to offend anyone. The chief priest shook his head again. Ignorance is no excuse. The oracle is very angry, and the curse will not lift until she pays for her wrongdoing. Dorcas' parents pleaded with the chief priest. Please, wise one, her mother begged. She's just a child. Help her. What can we do to make this right? The chief priest thought for a moment. The oracle demands respect and care. To earn its forgiveness, your daughter must serve it. Every day, she must bathe the tree stump, clothe it with white linen, and bring 3 meals as offerings to the tree stump. She must do this every day until the oracle forgives her. Dorcas' parents were horrified. How long will this take? The priest shook his head. I cannot say. It could be weeks, months, or longer. The oracle alone will decide. Dorcas' father turned to her. Have you seen your life? This is the price for your foolishness. Dorcas nodded through her tears. I will do it. I will do whatever it takes. Her parents had to return to the city, and Maureen too left after a week, leaving Dorcas alone in the village. Dorcas was occupied with her daily task of serving the oracle. Every morning, she would fetch clean water from the stream and carefully bathe the tree stump. She would drape it with fresh white linen and place 3 meals in front of it. At first, Dorcas found the task humiliating. She hated how everyone stared at her and whispered. But as time went on, she began to reflect on her actions. She realized how foolish she had been to mock the villagers' beliefs and act without thinking. For 6 long months, Dorcas' life revolved around the oracle. She woke up early every morning, did her duties, and spent the rest of the day quietly in the village. And then one morning, Dorcas woke up and noticed something strange. Her diaper was completely dry. At first, she thought it was a mistake, but as the day went on, she realized she was no longer urinating uncontrollably. Could it be? She thought hopefully. She dressed quickly and went to the tree stump to perform her duties. As she finished, the chief priest appeared. The oracle has spoken. It has forgiven you. You are free to go. Dorcas couldn't believe her ears. She fell to her knees. Thank you so much. Dorcas wasted no time. She called her parents and Maureen to share the good news with them. They were overjoyed and told her to return to the city immediately. As Dorcas said goodbye to the village, she felt nothing but gratitude. Thank you for teaching me. I will never forget what I have learned here. When she returned home, her family welcomed her with open arms. They could see how much she had changed. From then on, Dorcas' parents made sure to take her and her siblings to the village regularly. They wanted them to know about their roots and understand the importance of their culture. Dorcas never forgot the lesson she learned. She became more respectful of cultures and traditions and was always careful with her actions. Thank you for watching. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me. Give the story a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories. Thank you and remain blessed.